You know what this means? Every time we recognize somebody, what does that mean? It means this is a leader. This is somebody who's going out there and changing lives and making a difference. You know, we can't ever take this for granted. We are so blessed to be in this wellness industry, to get to help give people health, give them hope. So many people are going to work every day, and they're just struggling to survive and make it through the week. Can you imagine spending a majority of your life doing something that you don't love, that you don't feel you're really contributing and making a difference with your life? Who wants to live a life of purpose? Who wants to live a life of meaning? Who wants to get to the end of your week and realize what you did counted for somebody? It made a difference. It helped somebody's mother, somebody's daughter, somebody's grandchild. Yes? Yes. All right. Well, help me in recognizing our top 5 rising stars. All right. Let me tell you a little bit about what this is. These are people who achieved director, and they went on to become emerald directors and maintain their business and develop directors underneath them, and we measured them in their first year as a new director. Okay, and you're going to notice something about all of them. All of them went beyond director and emerald director, but world team. And we're going to start with number 5, Kathleen and Robert Babcock. Please come to the front. All right, good one. All right, I'm going to put Kathleen on the spot here just for a moment. Will you take just a quick seat? I want you to share with us what this business means to you, just in a few words.
It means changing people's lives. It changed my life, and I get emotional, sorry. But you just go out and you tell people, and you see their health change, and it's just the best thing.
You were at our rally in January, and you shared with the audience how the products helped you out, and how somebody cared enough about you to share these products. You were skeptical, you got on them, it helped, you got off of them to make sure it was really doing making a difference. And what happened? We got back on. It was working, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then how has the business helped? How has the business helped y'all financially? Just in.
Well, we met Glenda and everybody up at Keene Lake, listened to Louie, and I had fibromyalgia, and I was doing pretty good, but my feet hurt so bad I couldn't walk. And so we were camp hosts, did a lot of paperwork, but we heard Louie and I go, this makes so much sense, this cellular nutrition, because I had been studying. And so when we were done in October, I said, we're going to try this. I just want the train in. I just want the train in. Of course, Glenda signed us up and said, just take the shake and the Pro Vitality. So we did, and we were done with we had lost everything in the crash. So we were done with our job, and we really didn't have the money for more than 1 month. So we took it for a month, and we took the products for a month, and then we didn't have any more money. And so I researched for 3 months the company, because I had spent over $7,000 on different supplements in the 3 or 4 years that I had been trying to cure myself of fibromyalgia. And so I researched this. My son would come home from work, because we were living with him, because we'd lost everything, and then we would camp host 5 months out of the year. And he'd go, are you still sitting at that computer? You really need to get up and move. You know, it's not good for you to sit. I go, I'm just learning so much. I researched all of Jim McAfee's papers. I printed one of everything, and I just was trying to find something that was wrong with it. You know, I didn't want to put any more money. I'd already spent $7,000 in 1 year on supplements. And I just said, no. I said, in January, we're going to do this. And so we bought the products in January. And in February, we went to our first convention because I said, if I'm going to do something, I'm not doing it halfway, I'm doing it. So we went to convention, and it was unbelievable. And we met Jim and Lucille, and they were like our friends immediately. And so we went from there, and I was still, my feet really hurt there. And this is kind of funny. I was all dressed up, and the only shoes I could wear were clogs. And look, I had a long dress going, I hope no one sees my shoes. And then by the end of March, I'm just around the house getting up, walking without my shoes. I go, my feet don't hurt anymore. And the end of March, 3 months, like we tell everybody, it was all gone. It was all gone.
Financially, the business, you know, that you lost during the recession, the tough times that she was sharing. What has this business meant to you as far as giving y'all? I know you're passionate about the products, you just shared that. How are you being able to offer not only hope to your future, but hope to others with the business?
Well, what we have achieved without really trying, it's a pleasure for us to talk to people about their health. And when you're doing something that you truly enjoy, you don't realize fully what is going on in the background. I have been involved in nutrition since the 60s. And when I found this company, it was like a big relief went off from my shoulders because I already knew how the synthetic vitamins, what they were doing to people. And I was looking, I grew alfalfa sprouts for 16 years to be able to sell a product to people that wanted phytonutrients. And in the 80s, very few people knew about phytonutrients. And so that went by the wayside. We weren't able to keep it funded. And then we lost everything. We've been married for 46 years and we lost it all. And we had started this path on her. We would ride along in the mobile motorhome and she would read to us nutritional things, trying to help her get better. And we were searching. God led us to Hume Lake and we met these people. And here's a company that does everything with food, the thing that I knew was causing a lot of problems with people.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Well, please help me again in congratulating our number 5 rising star. And next, are you ready for number 4? Yes. Number 4, right among the new achiever rising stars, is Maria de Jesus Martinez. Congratulations on achieving number 4 among the new achiever rising.
Oh, me siento emocionada.
I'm excited. So what has this business meant to you? You've only been in the business a short while. You've been not only you became directors and emerald directors immediately in the business, you began duplicating yourself. How have you done it? And what has it meant to your team and your family?
Bueno, para nosotros esta compañía fue algo como grandioso porque me recuperé mi salud primeramente.
First of all, I have to tell you, this has been just a tremendous company because the first thing that I've done is recuperate my health. I got my health back.
Tengo 18 años diabética.
I've been a diabetic for 18 years.
Pero a las 2 semanas de estar tomando el producto, se me reguló mi azúcar. Yo estaba preocupada porque yo tenía el hígado graso, colesterol, triglicéridos y mi cara estaba completamente llena de paño.
Well, first off, as being a diabetic, I noticed in the first 2 weeks a change just in the way I felt. And the other thing too, having fatty liver, I also feel much better overall as well.
Entonces cuando yo lo único que pregunté fue para mi cara, pero cuando yo vi a las 2 semanas que bajé 8 libras y se me reguló mi azúcar, yo me emocioné.
Well, once I noticed after the first 2 weeks I lost 8 pounds, I was a little bit more heavier, and I noticed it in my skin, I got excited right away.
Y empecé a platicarle a mis hermanas.
Started sharing that with my sisters and brothers.
Entonces mis hermanas empezaron también ellas, porque también son diabéticas, y vieron buenos resultados.
They too started feeling better and got results as well.
De ahí fue como se emprendió el negocio.
That's how the business presented itself.
Yo vendía tamales.
I used to sell tamales.
Pues ahora ya no los vendo.
And guess what? I don't sell tamales anymore.
And let me put that in perspective, their success, okay? She became a new director in November 2013, was Emerald January 2014, as quickly, as fast as possible. So first 3 months as a director, she was consistent at Emerald. Then she became Sapphire in August. She's been solid and consistent ever since. 143 new starts in their organization this past year. 2 directors, including 1 Emerald, and a new World Team member. So they're World Team members, and they've duplicated themselves. You are also a 30-day challenge winner in the Be Your Best Challenge. So congratulations as well. So how are you building what are you doing to build and talk to people? Tell us a story of someone you talked to recently that's in your team because of something you did in sharing NeoLife.
Bueno, ahorita está Imelda García, tiene 3 días apenas que entró en el negocio.
I can share with you briefly Imelda Garcia. I just got her started about 3 days ago.
Y compró su boleto porque yo le platiqué que aquí le iba a ir bien.
And right away I told her about convention, and she actually bought her registration too.
Empezamos a hacer unas reunioncitas en la casa hace un mes y nos juntamos 4 personas, un primer nivel, un segundo nivel, 2 primeros niveles y un segundo nivel.
Just recently we started doing meetings, and I'm working with some of my first level and 2 of my second level team members.
Le pedimos ayuda, también nos apoya Diego y Patti. Y de esa reunioncita ya salieron 3 personas más.
Diego and Patti, our upline sponsors, are also helping us with those meetings, and as a matter of fact, we have 3 or 4 new members that are coming to those meetings now.
Y lo estamos haciendo cada 8 días.
And we're doing it every week.
Every week you're doing meetings. Wow, that's fantastic. I think, ladies and gentlemen, that helps understand the success they're having. Constant activity. Caesar, you've been working closely with them. Is there anything that you'd like to add after watching their success and their organization?
I think one of the things I will add well, first of all, it's a pleasure working with them and all of you guys. But what I will say about them is Maria de Jesus and her husband, they're a dynamic duo. They work very closely together. I feel that Maria really drives the business. Obviously, she's a businesswoman, and Jesus's, Filiberto's story is tremendous. He's lost a bunch of weight too, and he's also been a challenge winner as well. So I think that aspect of him having a health story and her having a business mindset has really just kind of created a dynamic duo, in my opinion.
And what is the final question? What does the future look like for you with this business? You've had a lot of success in the past year. You become World Team. You're winning your trip to BDR, Business Development Retreat. You'll have one of your new world team members there as well. And now you have the opportunity to go qualify for the Hawaiian trip as new world team. So you're living the lifestyle. What do you see the future?
Bueno, mi meta es en este año ser un rubí.
Well, first, my goal is this year to become a one ruby.
Poder ir a Hawái.
And of course, to join you guys in Hawaii too. That's my goal.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Congratulations. And there is your certificate of accomplishment as our top 5 rising stars. Congrats. Let's give it up, come on, one more time for number 4, New Achiever Rising Stars. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the top 3 Rising Stars. 3rd place, Doug and Sandra Friesen. Well, Doug, I'm glad we were able to get you on stage as well. Well, congratulations. 3rd place, New Achiever, Rising Stars. How does it feel?
Well, I'm still kind of in shock. I thought you just wanted me to share. I had no idea I got this, so thank you.
That's what I told you, right? I just want you to come up. I couldn't give it away that she was in the top 3 Rising Stars. But let me put this in perspective. They became directors in the last half of 2013, new Emerald directors right away, Sapphire directors this past year, solid, consistent ever since. 157 new starts in your organization this past year, 3 new directors, including an Emerald director and a Sapphire within your organization, so you're duplicating your success. Tell us about what has NeoLife meant to you and your family?
Well, excuse me, it's actually given me a new purpose in life. I love this. I love just meeting all the people and rubbing shoulders with healthy people. People that are in this goal to get healthy.
People you want to be around, right?
Yes, yes. So, and then just, yeah, meeting people like you. Yeah.
You know, one thing that really impressed me talking with you is what you just shared there. That your passion and love of people, blessing them, helping them. But what struck me, and you said, Josh, I don't want to say this because I don't want to talk about me, but I asked you if you would, is your consistency in working the phone, staying in touch with your team, loving them, serving them, and obviously that's had a huge impact and been a great example, I think, for all of us as we go out there and build our organization. So tell us a little bit about what you do to support your team. Is that true? You work the phones a lot?
I do. I try to stay in touch with my team, and they're just so precious. Kathy Babcock and Linda Burr and Carrie Neufeld and Denise Bennett. And then Janet Goodrow, who couldn't make it, and her brother. But anyway, I just like to come alongside my team, and I really want to help them get to where I'm at.
How do you feel talking about helping your team get to where you're at? I'm sure you noticed that number 5 is in your team.
Yes.
Let's give it up for the young guys. Talk about leading your team by example, right? They're in the top 5, and Kathy and Bob Babcock are right there with you. How incredible is that?
Well, they're easy to love.
Now, where did you meet Kathy and Bob Babcock?
Met them at lunch at Hume Lake just after church, and we go to this hall to have a buffet, and they happened to be at our table. So we got to talking about our kids first, and then somehow we got on the subject of health, huh, Kathy? And then just, once I realized she's kind of going in that direction like I am, I thought, I gotta tell her about Louie's meetings at Hume Lake. I gotta get her. to hear Louie. So so I live down in the valley. I live an hour and a half away, but my upline, who really helped me get to where I am, which is Glenda Drake and Mike Drake, yes. They went over, I said, Glenda, please get over to Kathy. She doesn't have a phone. Leave her a note. Invite her to Louie's meeting for me because I want her to go because I know she'd enjoy it. So that's how that transpired. And then she told you earlier how, her life went after that.
And what if you hadn't spoken to her at lunch? Can you imagine how things might be different?
Yeah, that was ordained by God.
Yeah. But you know what? We all have those opportunities, don't we? We all have that opportunity to step past ourselves. What my mother likes to say, enlarging our comfort zone, right? By being willing to step out and share something that someone shared with you. I call it paying it forward, right? And that's exactly what you did. And now you are on stage along with your team being recognized for stepping out and caring about them. And I'll never forget watching them. She got choked up today, and she got choked up in a big way at the rally, as they told her. As she puts it's together, y'all reach out and share this gift, and then you work hard to follow up with your team. And Doug, you said you want to speak.
I know, I can't help it.
See what happens?
You were talking about how Sandy is, she's on the phone a lot, and she's making her contacts, and she's relentless. And not all the calls go well all the time. And we have a dear friend that has throat cancer. And he's been through the chemo, he's been through the whole thing. And he just, he's kind of sort of interested in the product, taking a little bit of it. And maybe he's seen some results. I'm not sure of that or not, if he believes that it helped him out. But in any case, when we go home, I know she's going to call him again. And so you've got to get on this product. So pray for her all the time, and just, it's all about talking to people that are sick and trying to help them. And we even have a neighbor that we just happened to cross one day, and our dog slipped under his fence, so we had to go retrieve our dog or whatever it was that was in his yard. And when he came to the door, we saw that he was just really kind of frail and didn't look well, and it just got to talking to him about it. He's also got cancer. And leave it to my wife, she's all over him. So he is now taking product and doing very well.
And he's starting to believe in it, I think. He's starting to believe in the product, and he's wanting to test it and see how his numbers come out with chemo. And he's on chemo, plus he's on our product. So I'm very thankful.
Well,
hopefully it'll save his life.
As you keep stepping out and sharing these products and caring about others, I know you're going to you've already touched countless number of lives, and I'm amazed to think next year when we come back, how that's going to continue to double and triple and quadruple as all these lives, Babcocks and all continue to sharing, paying it forward. And I know you were excited to, it was a nice 1099 you received this past year. You said it had grown significantly from last year. So it looks like the future's pretty bright for you guys.
Yes, it is. And I want to get more of my team on the world team.
All right, there you go. And we can all be together in one.
It all starts with God, number one, and what He does in our life.
Amen.
And then Louie and Laverne. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. So thank you for all your training. For in our lives.
To our first-time convention attendees, that could be you. That could be you next year on stage being recognized. Yeah, we have a lot of new directors this past year. A lot. A record this past year over the last new directors and Emerald directors. This Rising Star panel next year, I can't wait to see your names and you sitting in these seats as you step out and care about others. So who's ready to find out our second place Rising Star? Are you ready? And the second place is Cameron Weedle. Cameron, you looking over your organization this past, my iPad will pull up here, the notes I have. You became a director in 2013. You immediately stepped up to Emerald Director, didn't waste any time at all. You became a Sapphire Director last year. You joined the Elite World team. You've been a solid Sapphire ever since. 133 new starts in this past year within your organization. Yes. 4 new directors, including an Emerald Director in your downline. Now, I'm going back in my mind to last year when we sat here. And I asked you as a member, as one of the newest, the young up-and-comers, asked you to share how you saw the future. And I remember at that time you were working at Starbucks. Are you still working at Starbucks?
No. Yeah, at that time I was working there, not necessarily full time. I've been working there ever since I lived down in San Diego, starting in 2011, and that's when I started getting into nutrition after I met Louie and Laverne up at Hume Lake Christian Camps. And I really did like the job because it was, it's a real personal environment, and I love being around people, and it taught me a lot of people skills and everything like that. But as you learn more about nutrition, and obviously that's a big part of the Bald Eagle team, you start to learn, and then as you see people come in and their health change, because we all know that America has an addiction to Starbucks, among other things. So you just start to see, man, people's health is changing, and I think the one that I worked at, a good portion of the customers who came were actually from the hospital, at least a third, and I saw their health going downhill, and I just thought to myself, I don't want to serve this to people. I don't feel like I have integrity doing this. And again, not that it's not in moderation and everything, and nothing against that company. They provided me with a job and everything, but I saw what this was in comparison, and I thought to myself, a lot of times probably we get asked, what is this, a pyramid scheme or something like that? And I just thought of the corporate structure of other companies who are public and things like that, and how most of it is built on a base of people just working for minimum wage. And there's so many people my age, please, if you see people in Starbucks, tell them about this and what you do when they're giving you your coffee, seriously. Because there's so many people even my age that are doing that. And imagine the structure of that, how many hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of employees, right? And then it leads up and there's only a few people on top. And this type of business is the opposite of that, where you are only built by encouraging and helping other people grow. So since then, I got down to working about 1 or 2 days a week, and I kept it for that personal connection. I remember Jerry was talking about that yesterday, and making sure it's the right time before you transition, when that point of your other job, you can no longer afford to put time into that because of how much your business is requiring your attention. And so that's what I did. And since about April, I haven't been officially a part of that company at all, and I've been doing my NeoLife business full-time for about the last 2 years, but as of now, this is my 100% focus.
Wow. Any of our audience, any one of you in the audience, would y'all like to quit the job you're doing right now by next year and be sitting on stage where Cameron is? Yes?
You can do it. You really can do it.
So let me ask you a question, Cameron. Last year I asked you when you went on not vacation, but it was you used vacation to go on a mission trip to Africa. I asked you if Starbucks paid you while you were gone, and what did you tell me?
No.
And did NeoLife pay you for while you were gone? Did you receive a check?
Yeah, actually, when I came back, I had a bigger check than I had the 3 months previously.
Does that happen in your job?
And first of all, that's all the glory to God. He grew my business, and I was kind of a trial run for me to see if it was something that could support me in doing what I wanted to do. And the funny thing was, on that trip, I actually got a young lady here with me from Salt Lake City, Utah, who I met on that trip as well. She went on that missions trip, and on the trip, God actually taught me more about gifts and being a leader and being a servant and working in the field with people and seeing another culture, how they work in Uganda. Actually has a lot of NeoLife distributors. GNLD is really big there. Probably more people have heard about it than in America. And he taught me more about that there when I was in the mission field, actually, than I did learn just specifically about missions and stuff like that, which is really funny because it helped me to focus and see this as a mission to my own culture and everything like that, and how there's such a huge transition between the two.
Now that you've Starbucks in what month?
April.
You left Starbucks in April. Now, do you still get like notes from people thanking you for serving up, the difference you made in their life while at Starbucks?
Yeah.
How does that compare to the kind of impact you're making here at NeoLife?
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of those people, I'll still go in all the time and I'll have meetings with people about NeoLife. Remember, I've got some emeralds that are sitting here, and the first meeting I ever had with her was like, hey, check this out, what we're doing. And she had no interest in NeoLife whatsoever. It was just about other nutritional stuff. And I had a meeting with her in Starbucks. And so I still go in there all the time when I see my old coworkers, some of them were there, and they're always like, hey, what are you doing now? This is really cool. A couple of them, I've even got one gentleman here who's wanting to pursue the same path as me and is slowly working his way out of Starbucks too, so that's kind of funny. But
Travis, right?
yeah, Travis. So Travis? Yeah, so I'm real proud of him. It's cool to be able to see that discipleship and be an encouragement in that way, and he's a huge encouragement to me. But the funny thing is I'll see a lot of parents actually. I do a junior high ministry at another church in my community, and I spend a lot of time with the younger guys because I really like doing that. And a lot of their parents, some of them worked above Starbucks, and I would see them in there on a regular basis. And I did make a lot of connections to people who had health issues, because when you see someone every day, you get to hear and you get to ask them, you could just see what's going on in their lives, to work with them. And they've since come to NeoLife meetings, and a lot of them are members and promoters and everything like that. And turning their health around. And a lot of the parents that see me when they drop their kids off, they'll be like, hey, we miss seeing you every day at Starbucks. Where are you? What are you doing now? And how can we help support you in what you're doing? And I'm like, well, I'm having a NeoLife workshop coming up here soon. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. How do you see the future, Cameron?
Well, the future is bright. It's amazing. And it's only that way, number one, because the Lord has been so gracious to me over and over, constantly pursuing me and providing for me, and always being there even when I'm not faithful to Him. So that's the story of our God and the grace of Jesus Christ. And one of the ways that He does that is through the people He puts in your life. I always think to myself, if ever I doubt the love of the Lord, I just have to look at the people that He's put around me and put in my life, such as yourself, Josh, my amazing mentor, Louis Smith, even my own family, and my friends, my other directors, Andy and Jamie, and there's so many names, I can't name them. And if ever you doubt the love of the Lord, look at the people He's put in your life. And I have made a choice to put those people around me and to pursue relationships with them and invest in them, but it's certainly, it goes both ways, absolutely, just like a good marriage or whatever. Not that I'm married or now, but... anyways, all that to say, I see the support that I have around me, I see the love of our God and everything, and then on top of that, I see the amazing life and encouragement and regeneration happening within this company and where we're going to go with this and what America needs, and I cannot be more fired up. To an area where I'm going to be going to school, and I hope that I'll have a solid business to keep putting me through that, and also I'm going to build wherever I go, because this is my number one thing. So,
Thank you, Cameron. Isn't that amazing? A 26-year-old in college building a business around the world. That could be you. All right, and now for our first place new achiever, rising star, please join me in recognizing LeVon and Richard Vaughn. So, it's been an exciting year for you this past year, emotional as well, huh? Let's put this in perspective, what she's done. 1 full year in the business. She became a new distributor in August of 2013, a new Emerald director November of 2013, a director November of 2013, Emerald in January. So as quickly as possible, she stepped right up to Emerald. She then became a Sapphire, member of the Elite World Team, April of 2014, last year. She has consistently qualified at Sapphire Director every single month since. She already has 6 directors, including an Emerald Director and a Sapphire, another member of the World Team, in her downline. And when you all walk out of here, you're going to receive an Achievers booklet. It's going to show you our top ranking distributors. And you'll find that not only is she #1 among the rising stars, but she also already has a $250,000 size of business. Lavon, what has this business meant to you and your family? I know it started with your health, and you shared with me about your husband, and you lost faith in corporate America. What has NeoLife meant to you?
A new beginning, a place of restoration, a place of recovery, spiritually, physically, a place that you can become whole again after a lot of corporate and even personal deceptive experiences in life. When I was introduced to this, I was taking what I called a sabbatical from all of it and just kind of waiting for the real thing, not quite knowing what it looked like because I'd seen so much deception. But when I was introduced to NeoLife in August on that phone call, my spirit rose up and said, yes, grab a hold of it. This is it. The more that I investigated, the more that I tasted and seen that it was real, and that I could finally stand on a platform and hold my head up and say, this is worth fighting for. This is worth getting up and going into the highways and the byways and calling forth everyone else that is in the same situation, looking for something real, but don't know where to find it.
Wow. Share with us a story, if you would, in your team that inspires you to move forward. Somebody that you reached out, shared this gift called the NeoLife business with them. And how has it changed their life and thereby inspired you on your journey?
There's many.
Yes, there are.
There's one here with us from Florida, Sandy Kramer. And when she first started coming to the meetings, her husband has had a physical need, and his health was spiraling downward fast. And she needed something that would work quickly on his behalf. And we're going to put his testimonial on the calls because he was in a wheelchair, couldn't hardly get around, was becoming housebound. He's out of the wheelchair now. Sandy was on the phone with her husband yesterday evening, and he had driven with his daughter-in-law, I believe, up to Jacksonville to visit with his grandchildren. And he's now free to fly, to be a part of his family's weddings and graduations and his grandchildren because of NeoLife products.
First place, rising star. How do you see the future?
I see a health revolution. I see a health revival. I see something that we've not seen before in the past here in America. But it's the dawning of a new day. It's a rising of a new sun that's going to light up the things that were once foggy are going to become clear. And more people are going to be following you, knocking on your door, beating your door down for this information. So everyone who has prepared and is willing to prepare for this opportunity, Do it now. Do it today. Don't delay. Go, go, go. Get prepared because it's coming. The revolution is coming. Get prepared for it.
She is leading. She has led a revolution in Florida, that's for sure, and spreading across the country. Congratulations to all of our top 5 Rise and Shine.